Coming to you live from the Stream.tv studios in Hollywood, California, Pensado's Place is brought to you by Vintage King, the Blackbird Academy, Avid, Recording Connection, Studio 202, Slate Media Technologies, and Audio Technica.
Part 2 of our Studio Bosses episode. We got a brand new ITL. We're going to introduce you to a few people, and we're going to show you how you can win a Pensado Awards.
Yay.
You're at the place, baby. It's Pensado's Place.
Yay. What's up, what's up, what's up? Glad to have you guys with us. We're really happy to be here and introduce the new show.
It is a new show?
Well, it's a continuation, yeah.
Absolutely. So should we get to it? We got a lot of stuff.
Oh, I'm ready.
So, hey gang, how the heck are you? Hope your week was spectacular. As we mentioned, we got part 2 today of the Triple Threat Studio Bosses. Based on the comments I saw, you really enjoyed Rose, Paula, and Zoe, so more of that coming up. As usual, like and subscribe, a powerful tool that helps us and you in many ways. We really appreciate your efforts, and they show. Along with our audience, the wind beneath the Pensado wings are our title sponsors. Vintage King, quality, consistency, customer service, great brands, and great friends. The Blackbird Academy, actually our man Dave P is headed to Nashville in 2 weeks from now. He's going to personally teach the students and mentor. We'll kick off the new Blackbird Pensado campaign while Dave is there. That's going to be a regular thing that Dave is going to go down.
Oh man, I can't wait to do it. Last time we were there, the students are sharp as a tack, good questions, and got a couple of things planned for down there that are going to be a little different, a little cool. And
I also think it's a really cool thing that we're going to consistently go down and be able to touch the students.
Well, I just like Nashville. I mean, thanks to Blackbird and John, I've just fallen in love with Nashville all over again.
I'm a little pissed that you're going and I'm not. I might just show up.
I know people if you want to go.
Okay, cool. Karma sort of threatened me, like I have to go.
It'd be great if you could. I know you're busy. It's a hectic time for you.
For the Blackbird Academy, all things good. So, you know, if you're considering a school to attend, think long and hard. Reach out to them or us about the Blackbird Academy's July classes. They're teaching both studio and live classes. Both of those are great career opportunities. Yep. Dave will be down in a couple weeks, but that's going to be a regular feature, us going down to teach down there. Always hello to Studio 202, a cutting-edge content shop out of DC. Phenomenal partner to us and friend. And the Recording Connection. Their mentor-to-mentee methodology, very cool. We're going to do a cool ITL. I think with Chung King and John King.
John, I got an email from John. I got to answer that. Yeah, get that going right away.
It's going to be very cool. As you heard in the opening voiceover, Dave and I are excited to welcome some new sponsors. We're humbled that there's that much attention to what we're doing, and it's just an amazing thing. First up, Audio Technica. One of the things Dave and I do is we tend to, with all of our sponsors, we meet the players, we spend time with them, we get to know the products, we make sure they know us and make sure the fit is there. We've had a chance to look at their passion and commitment to quality, their commitment to the customer. I mean, these guys at their global headquarters in Japan have a museum dedicated to gramophones. In their U.S. headquarters in Stowe, Ohio, they honor craftsmanship and really care. It's why the Grammys and the CMAs and the NBA and the Tonight Show love their stuff. Listen, these guys even made a custom white mic for the Pope.
I forgot about that.
That's the way Audio Technica rolls. Let's not get that twisted. So Dave and I really look forward to introducing you to their stuff. Doug, Roxanne, Gary, Corey, those are some real key players there. But the two dudes that really rock Dave and I, we got caught in the elevator at NAMM in January, going up the elevator after hours. A couple of Audio Technica dudes were in there, might have had a Heineken or two, and they were so enthusiastic about our partnership. I walked out of that elevator saying, our kind of company. So especially to those two dudes, we welcome Audio Technica, the Pensado family. Now, Audio Technica has to go through the initiation, don't they?
Let's do it.
All right, so here's what we always do. For all you Audio Technica people at the home office who are viewing this, I'm going to say you're at the place, and you have to yell back so we can hear it in LA, Pensado's Place. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. You're at the place.
Pensado's place.
Not bad. We always give a second try. So make this one rock. You ready? You're at the place. There you go. That's the one. That's the one. Welcome, Audio Technica. We're happy to have you, Dave and Art.
Absolutely.
On another front, we have another sponsor who we personally feel very strongly about. One of the force of natures in the pro audio community is a gentleman named Stephen Slate. Stephen is a friend of ours, a passionate supporter, and we are of his. His products are constantly mentioned on our show without prompting.
Yeah.
All of our experts and a lot of our audience use his stuff. And what I've noticed about Stephen is his spirit and his passion are put into everything his name is on. Is that a fair way to put it? What's your
you know, in fact, we were talking about this early on when we were hanging out with Stephen. His passion is contagious. I mean, some people, I'm with them for a while and they just wear me out. I want to go to bed. With Stephen, I can stay up 3 days after I hang out with him. But his products are good. I use the FGX on every mix. I use the Trigger on every mix. On and on and on. Raven. I mean, his products just work.
Yeah.
He's not trying to hype anything. He just makes like meat and potatoes kind of tools the carpenter would use every day to build a house with.
Well, the funniest thing that you probably don't notice is if
I mixed a metaphor, didn't I?
You did, but you do all the time.
Okay.
Is if you do a lunch with Dave and Steve and you're there to talk about something else, forget about it. They're going to go hard on gear till dessert. Then you get about 30 seconds. Then they're going back hard on gear. That's how passionate he is. And it's also why Stephen's name has earned respect abroad, globally, every place. We could not be more thrilled to add Slate Media Technologies as a title sponsor. We're going to show you this amazing Raven that they have. They have other Slate product lines. This is a great day. One of the things, which we'll talk about in the future, that really moved me when I met with Stephen privately was his strategy on his margins on his products, was how to bring them down to make it more affordable to you guys. Not a lot of guys who think like that. So welcome to Stephen and Fab and the Slate team. Yeah. We got your back, buddy, like you got ours. Yeah. Happy to have you.
Thanks, Stephen.
Finally, welcome back, Avid. It is great to see you. Quick story. Along with Vintage King, the other brand responsible for Pensado's Place birth and life and ability to sustain and come to you every week, by far, is Avid. Yeah. For Dave and I, names like Caridi and Lombardi and Graham and Spreen, and especially one Anthony Gordon, are very important to us. We're always there for you, and Anthony has been a champion in this last period.
Yeah.
They're coming off their successful Avid Connect meetings in Vegas. They're back in their saddle with their boys at Pensado's Place, and we are ready to rock and roll, right?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, a lot of people don't understand why Avid is so important to us. It's the tools we use. It's a company that understands what Pensado's Place is about, and they've really been with us from the start. Vintage King also from the start.
Absolutely. So welcome back home. Kudos to Anthony Gordon, and we rock and roll. Personally, from Dave and I to all of our sponsors, and that list continues to grow. We are humbled. We couldn't do it without you. We're going to try to service the hell out of the relationship, and all this is really good stuff for you guys. And to our audience, thanks for indulging us in this. It's important because they make things possible for you guys that other people would not make possible. And they work collaboratively with us, and we want to try to extend those opportunities.
When I was going to Walmart business school, one of the concepts that we learned was you know, you take in revenue and you save a little bit of that revenue, and then you apply a little bit towards the company. Somewhere I got it wrong. It seems like the more we get, the more we spend.
Right.
It's these guys have put such a big responsibility on us to give them top quality from top to bottom. It feels like we've got a lot of sponsors, but we're giving you a lot of quality, and I can't thank the sponsors enough for helping us do this.
Absolutely. They make all this possible, and we're aggressively this year going to reach out to the community, and we got plans for after the awards. So all good. So moving on. About 2 months out from the Pensado Awards, right? Just about 60 days and counting. So, a couple things. For those of you who want to enter a mix to be considered for the Breakthrough Mixer Award, our friends at Indaba are helping us out. We're so happy about that. Go to the link that you see below me. See that? See that link right below me? Click on it. Get your hands on the Emily Green track, New York City. Mix your ass off and then submit it. We in Indaba will take it from there. We're going to nominate and get it down to a certain number of folks. Then it will get to Dave to pick the winners. Our friends at Isotope, our great friends at Isotope out of Boston, are going to provide some prizing for some of the nominees. All the details are at that link. This is your shot to get a Pensado Awards. Take it. Want to make a quick note. We've always presented the Pensado Awards as something we'll do collaboratively. This is one of the awards and categories that your input has been very helpful on a number of categories. So I've been toiling over the last couple of weeks with the idea of amateur, and it had positive and negative connotations. Anyways, got a few emails, looked at the discussion, had some discussion with Dave, and so we thought Breakthrough Mixer was much more appropriate. Doesn't matter if you're amateur, pro, or whatever, get it in there. So that is a great example of how this award show you're putting on with us, great example of collaboration, great example of working together. Thank you so much. So before we get to the ITL, let's wrap up with some details. June 28th, the big day. At the beach at beautiful Fairmont Hotel, be there. The hosts are rocker and acronym CLA, Chris Lordalge, Poppin' Latina and new mom Marcela Arequia, and the mayor of the Big Apple, Young Guru. They're your hosts. We're going to announce a fourth one very soon. I'm excited about that. On the ones and twos at the party afterwards, Young Guru is going to rock it in the Pensado Playhouse. Be there. Tickets are moving very briskly. Get to pensadoawards.com for updates, ticket sales, announcement, news, hotel options. You can see our pro committee, which grows every week. We just added Robert Duncan from Castle. Al Schmidt just got added. We're talking to Rodney Jerkins. We're talking to a whole bunch of folks. Anything you need is right there at pensadoawards.com, and we'll get back to you. This is going to be an absolute ball. Be there or be square. It's a celebration. It's a party. What do we say every week? Booties bumping, mascara melting. Absolutely. Cannot wait. We'll see you there. Dave, why don't you...
This week's ITL?
Why don't you introduce an ITL?
This week's Into the Lair, I want to show you how to work with transients to shape a sound, not just EQ. There's some things you can do with transients that you can't do with EQ, so let's check it out. I'm a big fan of transients because transients help you find things in the mix. We've spoken about this before. They cut through the mix and your ear can latch onto that, and once your ear latches onto the transient, it can then kind of figure out the rest of the sound that follows the transients. Now sometimes I'm given a sound that just has too much transient response. The classic method to solve that was to run it through a piece of tube gear or tape, or hit the tape a little harder to kill the transients. But in Pro Tools, we actually have, in DAWs in general, we actually have really good ways to work with this. I'm going to show you a transient. This is my friend Monster Blocka's. This group's called FYI. This is Bigger, Better, Faster featuring Busta Rhymes. Check this out. The first thing you notice is this percussion part right here is just occupying too much space in the mix. The tuning on it is a little suspect. So what we can do is okay, let's start right here. Now, the first thing I'm going to show you is this is a free plug-in from Flux. It's called Bittersweet. Now, if I don't do anything with this plug-in, this is what I've got. So let's put it in. Now, if I go this way, I increase the transients. If I go clockwise. Let's listen to that in the mix. Now, I like it better with the transients suppressed a little bit. 12 o'clock is nothing. Over here, it just stuck out in the mix too much. When I get it down in here, and this is a personal taste thing, it starts sounding like it's organically part of the mix. Now you're saying, well, Dave, why can't you EQ that out? Well, the transient, if here's my sound, the transient has a spike and then the sound and then the decay. So this part of the envelope, I don't want to darken or to have affected by the transient shaper. Now we low pass the whole sound. I still get confused with high pass and low pass all the time. So what we're trying to do with this plug-in is just control this little peak here, this little transient, and not affect the rest of the sound. We've darkened the sound enough to make it fit our mix. So there's several things you can use. You can use TransX. You can use the SPL, which is excellent. Transient Designer. There's a lot of ways you can accomplish this. There's some real cool ways that FabFilter has in some of their plugins to control transients. This one's free. It works great. One knob, less, more. And check it out one more time. All right, happy transient hunting. See you next time. Paula, the rise in technology has had a bit of a double hit, not just from that perspective, but things become obsolete so much quicker now. Has that affected your overall bottom line cost? Because it used to be you could hang on to a console for 40 years.
Yeah,
now
exactly.
Zoe, you just, let's go back to Paula.
Yeah. Well, we renovated Studio A, and the vintage 8068 and Studio B we've kept. You know, we just added to it, made it larger and stuff. But we hold on to a lot of vintage stuff because we have a big storage, and also we do have a lot of catalog, so we sometimes have to get that retransferred and stuff like that. So we end up holding on to stuff. But you know, with Pro Tools every couple of years having to change that up.
But buying 5 Pro Tools rigs is a lot better than buying 5 analog boards.
Yeah,
for sure. For sure.
Exactly.
I mean, that's nothing. That's like a piece of cake.
That's right.
You just completely, since the last time I was there, you just completely dumped everything in the trash and started over on your stuff, didn't you? Your technical stuff,
well,
digital stuff.
You know, we did very well with our initial technology, but
I think we paid for it when we were there, as a matter of fact.
I think you did. But you have to, you know, that's part of our jobs, I think, is making sure you keep track of, not only, I don't want to say trends, but, you know, talking to engineers about.
Yeah, listen to your clients.
Yeah, you talk to them and see what we need.
Because it's a business of adapting. You know, I think if you we tell people if you don't adapt, you'll die.
If that's exactly it.
Correct.
That is the truth.
You have to evolve.
You have to evolve.
Everybody
have to
in the
change.
business, yeah. And I think that prudent clients are looking for a place that has evolution, because if you don't have the flexibility, you're just going to be left out. They're going to go to some other place that's flexible. I find that as a manager, as executive producer of the show, everything is about how do you shift and evolve. And I find it to be exciting too, because sometimes you find a path that goes, oh wow, this wasn't available. We couldn't have done this before, you know, and now it's turned into this thing. It's amazing.
You know, the way the business, it's a little tough now, but it's also, I think, leveled the playing field, not only for artists, but for engineers. It's easier for an engineer to get into a room now than it ever was.
That's absolutely right. Absolutely.
And I think that's wonderful. And during that really tough time when we were going through, what was it, like 2003 or whatever, that's how I was able to keep my staff alive, is that they were One was engineering and one was assisting. And that's the way it's working now. And I'm really proud to say I've got 2 guys that are getting ready to go on their own. They have enough clients. That makes me so happy. And then 2 more move up.
You birthed a couple more, Mom.
That's exactly it.
You got a bunch of them.
It's 2 are launched.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Rose, how important in your profession is it for you to have a technical background? We know Paula bluffed her way into this world by saying the world, by saying doubly. Did you say doubly or doubly? You remember?
I don't consider myself technical because I couldn't make a conference call the other day, but Jason Carson, who's our VP, and my husband tell me I'm a little bit more technical than I realize.
You are very technical.
But what I did was when I first started out, because I didn't understand, and you know that old story about people sending me out for nanowebbers.
Oh, tell that story.
I think it was like my 3rd week on the job.
Can I stop you real quick? No, tell the story. Tell the story. I want to make sure our audience knows what a nanoweber really is, but you tell the story.
Maybe this group, maybe the new group wouldn't know it. But they sent me out for nanowebers, and there were only a couple rental companies then, and I called up one rental company, and I went, "Hi, I'm Rose Mann, and I'm new at the record plant. I need a dozen nanowebers. Well, let me go check for you, Rose." You know what? We're out of them, but try this number. Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, they set me up. They set me up big time.
For our audience that doesn't know what a nanoweber is, and I think probably that's most of them, I think we're showing how long we've been in the business, but a nanoweber is a measure of the amount of energy you can get on a piece of tape. Let's just call it that. It's a nebulous thing that's not a physical thing.
I was determined to get them, too.
That ranks right up there with a snipe hunt.
Well, and also we share some DNA because when I first started the show, I come from the management side and so forth. So for a while, it was just tennis for me. I was just like watching people talk about things that made no, I could put the show together and make it run. So one day I joked that when I mix, I use a twizzle flanger. And we got all this feedback back about twizzle flangers, and they made up their own things and so forth. So we share that. We were.
So I would take my book, after my shift, and I would go into the tech shop, and there was these great techs, Norm Delugach and Bill Ellswick. And they would show, and Gary Kellgren, he was so great. He really taught me a lot. And they would show me, okay, this is a reverb, and they'd draw it, and this is a reverb, it does this, and they'd point out all the equipment, all the hardware, and now and so now we just download everything.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what you do.
Everybody's rack is on a keychain.
Exactly right. Brag a little bit about your own shops. I mean, Capitol, for instance, what is it, the history that makes it unique and what you guys are doing? Tell us about Capitol and its specialness, because that's a special place.
It's the last remaining studio that's tied to a record label, It was built after the record company was established after World War II,
right.
And the studio was built in the 50s, so it was a resurgence after the war, when they built the studio in 56.
Right. Oh, that's the year I was born. Amazing.
Well, amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. So, it just has a great heritage, and we kept the technology up to date, luckily, and we always kept we always have a good technical staff, and, we got a reputation to stand by, so.
And you feel the vibe, too, when you walk in there.
I was getting ready to say just that.
I was in there a couple weeks ago, and you can just feel it. You almost want to see, Johnny Mathis, probably Nat King Cole, or Frank Sinatra. You just feel it.
And I'll tell you what's fascinating to me. I never take pictures of anything, but when you're in there, you guys have kept that balance of history but being current. But history kind of serves as the guide. And I started taking pictures by the stills. I was like, oh, be in Nat King Cole, and before I knew it, I was doing it for an hour. And I was like, because where are you going to find that history? Really amazing and great job.
Yeah.
Record plant. The hip place to be, when you go there, it feels like a special church. Talk about it.
It's record plant for me is a magical place. You walk down the halls and you just feel all this creativity and excitement. And there's been so many people that recorded there, from Jimi Hendrix to Kanye West, and for me, it's magical. And I think that for the younger bands or younger groups or the younger hip hoppers, that's like they've made it when they can go there.
No question. No question. When you walk down the hall, the doors open. It's, oh, well, I am. Oh, Pharrell, or this one or
Yeah,
that.
and it's really fun to watch them scoot down the halls on their scooters, and they go into each other's room, and you know, it's really, it's just as exciting as it was in the analog days. It's just a different style, because you see all these kids the other day, they were like checking out some software, or checking out how to press down X amount of keys at one time to get this opened up or whatever. And you know, and it's kind of like the same thing. They're just not slowing down tape or putting a pencil in something.
Right.
Talk about thinking you're making it. For those that don't know, but Rose has this thing where she has these little razor scooters, the little aluminum razor scooters, and that's cool in itself, but when I got there, my name was on a little license plate on my
Oh, no
wrist.
jokes. See, that's attention to detail.
I teared up. I had to get on my scooter and go real quick because there were a lot of people in the reception area, and I teared up.
So Zoe, then the Palm, with the uniqueness of the Palm, and do you get international clients that come to the Palm?
Oh, yes, very much.
Yeah?
I want to say, though, what you said about going to Capitol, I felt today when I went to Record Plant, that, you know, you can feel, you walk in the door and you just feel the history. And I had been there before. I haven't been there in many years, but you do. You feel the essence of it, and you're walking into hallowed ground, really.
Can I tell you guys something that you're doing without even trying? So we've been around. We're in our fourth year, and we've had probably 6 or 8 live events, and we always make sure that we invite ladies and aspiring females in the business to those events. So, and they come, and they always come up to us and say, you know, thank you for paying attention, and sometimes we don't get attention, all that kind of stuff. And so not being crusaders, one of the things I think is really cool is that they can evidence the fact that women can not only be great at what they do, be musicians, be technical folks, but also come up and run organizations and oversee the kind of talent and stuff that you do. So on behalf of all the ladies, I'm going to say thank you, but that's important, I think, because if you're a group of people who can't be inspired, then you don't try, and that inspiration is important. We're in an inspiration business, you know, and so to be able to inspire people is important. You recognize that, correct?
I do,
yeah. So I think that's
and I enjoy it too.
Good, because you just have to be you.
Yeah.
There's nothing. There's
I'm a
nothing
nurturer to begin with, so.
No, it's a great thing. So, you know, Women in Audio in San Francisco and all those folks who follow
The reason
us.
why we didn't have kids, all the studio kids are our kids.
It's
You know what? Can I tell you something?
It's really
Not to
true.
change any diapers.
A friend of mine told me that the reason I don't have kids, and I think that's correct, is that my businesses, the people who worked at my businesses were my family.
Yeah.
And I find the whole love, grief process is all wrapped up in that. People leave, or you break up, people get mad at you.
Yeah.
So we share, we share all that. Maybe we should get together and have a drink and talk about that.
I got a feeling these 3 ladies would drink you under the table.
Oh, no question. It's not even. It's
You
not
know
even
Rose
choice.
would, for sure.
Listen, the first time I talked to Rose, this is how I was introduced to Rose. Look, she's really mean. You need to be really careful. Don't. So I ran into her at a hotel lobby at NAMM with Ed. And she knew you, and she knew of Pensado's place, so she was very nice. But the message was, don't cross this. Now, come right up here and stop right here. I don't know you yet.
Yeah.
So
Rose told me that lesson of know your place.
Yeah.
Know your place.
Yeah.
That was the NAMM that had like the 80-foot picture of her on the cover of Mix magazine.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're still the only lady that's been on the
Yeah.
They
studio manager that's
first
been
ran
on.
out of hardware to put on the cover, so they put me on.
And she's the first lady ever to get a Hall of Fame.
And to hit the,
Yes,
I was going to
Czech
say
Hall of
that, the
Fame.
first woman to be elected in the Hall of Fame.
Wow.
The Czech one,
Man, that's
That was pretty
that's
special.
inspirational.
you earned that. You
That
know,
was pretty special.
yeah.
It's your profession. It requires passion. It requires dedication, long hours. There's a lot of positives that I can see in all your faces. You know, this love that you have for it, and the fact that you do nurture the musicians and the engineers and stuff like that. Like all of you have taken care of me in the past, and you know, as the spokesperson for the industry, I thank you for that. But it's not a profession for everyone, is it? Like not just women or men, but just people. It requires a dedication that some people, let's say, are just not willing to give.
Steel, that's for sure.
Yeah.
If you had a daughter, would you want her to do what you do?
If I had a daughter, I want her to do whatever she wanted to do.
Yeah,
I happen to have
exactly.
a niece I'm really close to, and it's whatever you want to do,
Yeah.
I'd support it, as long as it's legal.
Just find something you're passionate about.
Find something that's going to make you happy. You
Because
don't
we had
want-
to have that support.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, why would we not, do that? But I also think you do a favor by telling people who obviously don't have it, or helping people don't have it, to see that they don't have it,
Yes.
and suggest that they go some other place. Because
Yes.
you can waste a lot of money, get nowhere, get your
I
feelings hurt.
do that.
I do too. I'm
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
candid about it.
Yeah.
And most people will come back later and say, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you did that. You know what? Because of the show, and I think because of our demeanor and the way you guys' demeanor is, people don't understand how tough the business is. They don't understand you need to have sharp elbows. You're going to run up against people that you're going to have conflicts with.
This
This
is
is
true.
not a shrinking violet.
No, it's not.
I mean,
Right?
sometimes there's problems. I remember something happened and they thought there was a fire, and I ran down the studio. I'm like, I'm running to a fire.
Not running away from it.
I did that in
Same
Studio
thing.
C.
Yeah,
when
you're
Studio
like,
C's
yeah.
burned
That's
down.
my instinct. What? Oh,
Yeah.
everybody's
save it.
going out and I'm going down. Yeah.
I was saving masters.
Exactly.
You sat on a few masters in your past too, didn't you?
Every day
How do you do that
gotta
with
hold
hard
it.
drives now?
Huh?
How do you do
Yeah.
that with
It's
hard
really
They gotta- They're
difficult.
painful to sit on now.
Well,
You can't. I mean, you
Tell
just,
them what we're talking about, though. They don't know what we're talking about.
which one?
The sitting on hard drive on
Sitting on
tape,
hard drive.
reels of
When
tapes.
people don't pay.
There was a group, I don't want to mention the name, and they wanted their tapes, and they owed a lot of money, and I wouldn't give it to them, and they were trying to get the tapes out of the studio, and I lived on Miller Place then, and I drove down, and I went down there, and I sat on the tapes. I wouldn't let them do
Dared them to
it.
take them.
Chris Stone got so mad at me. He goes, "Are you crazy?"
But they didn't get the tapes.
No.
Yeah. You have to do it. I did that as a manager. I can remember countless encounters where you said with some threatening words, we need to resolve this
Oh,
before it
I've
goes to
done a
another level.
degauser in the tape. What do you
Yeah,
want? You're going to pay me?
exactly. Or, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
How do you do that with thumb drives, Paula?
You can hide them.
Oh, okay. Hey, Paula, I got to go engineer on you for a minute. The live chambers at Capitol, a while back we thought we might lose them because of construction nearby, about 18 feet away. Are we are we okay now?
Yeah,
Our
we're
live
okay.
chambers are going to stay there?
We're okay. The city got involved. They're not going to let anything happen. But really, nothing was going to happen. It was just going to be the sound of the underground garage, and drilling into it was going to make sessions impossible. So they made an agreement to stop any construction after 10 a.m.
Oh, okay.
But then the guys lost their funding because it was 2006 and everything kind of went crazy. So now they're trying again, and they're digging the ground around there to see where the earthquake fault is, because they think there might be one, but they haven't found it. So,
I'm a geologist. Don't worry about it.
yeah, so I think we're okay. But it's made a historical landmark. The studios,
So it's protected.
the building, and the chambers.
Yeah.
I've been to the studios quite a bit. Back when Al was doing a big band thing, I was over there. So I've been there in the last few months. But I haven't gone through the lobby in a few years. The lobby with like every gold record that Capitol's ever had. It's like
It's not there.
It's not there
They,
anymore.
they renovated the place, made it
That's
look
right.
a little cleaner, made it look like more
What
like
happened
the
to all
original.
those gold records?
In storage. There's a lot of storage.
You remember
Were all
her,
my
right?
gold records. Yeah, but there was a point where gold records became sort of passe, and you kind of put them up.
Not in this place. It was
Gold
like you'd
CDs.
look around and it's like Beatles,
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah.
Sinatra, and then
Yeah,
like
it's
like
clean.
hundreds and hundreds and
It was
hundreds.
a tourist stop.
Like the ceiling was what, 20 feet high, and it was floor to
Yeah.
ceiling, and wall to wall.
Everybody remembers it. Buses used to come by, and you would just look at the lobby. People come in the
Yeah.
lobby and stare and all that
If
stuff.
if
You don't even
music
get a gold record anymore. I think
I
you have to
don't
pay
either.
for it.
Oh, yeah.
to me,
Pay
if
for it back then, actually.
to me, if music were a religion, the cathedrals and the churches and the synagogues would be studios. So studios have always had a special place for me. And when I walked in the Capitol's lobby, I forgot why I went there, and that was pretty impressive.
Quincy told me once that he would never have a studio in his house because studio is like church. You need to go to church and let
Yeah.
God come in, and that wouldn't happen at your house. And I said, I am going to quote that and give you publishing because that could not be put better.
I'd like to thank all the wives of engineers that don't want a studio at the home.
Well,
I think they have a lot to it because once you get musicians using your bathroom, that's it. So
I think that engineers are coming out a little bit more too, especially the younger ones.
Yeah.
I mean, how are you going to drum up business in your house?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who are you going to see down
I
the
mean,
hall?
even guys with personal studios. I mean, there's a lot of elaborate studios out there, and they're coming out.
Yeah, they want to be around.
Well, studios are the last bastion of entertainment for us. You know what I'm saying? It's like
And they're critical.
We have to create ways now to get together. Like Joe Barresi has this little get together where a bunch of us get together. But you know what? I'd love to see you guys. I'd love to see you guys do like a barbecue on Saturday afternoons where 50 or 60 of us could get together because I really
Well, it's
miss that.
it's also part of the premise of this show. I mean, it's a place where people can gather.
We've been told that, haven't
It's
we?
not personal, but you know, the
Community.
600,000 or 700,000 people that watch this a month, they see it as a community and they gather.
It is a community.
And they're very active from around the globe, and so they've been wanting to get together. Isolation doesn't tend to work to advance business. You know, you kind of have to get together and talk to people and share.
Yeah.
So two things. One, as we get ready we're going to have a unique batter's box, guys, where we're actually going to conduct a mock interview by folks that are the best. But one of the things too is you guys have or have had in the past spouses who are also incredible in the business. Pat Thrall, who Dave just, when he talks about vocals and engineering, it's just, there's two names that come out.
Nobody better.
Period. Ed Cherney, who is...
I actually met Pat before I met Zoe.
You're kidding me.
Pat recorded at the record plant in '82 at the Hughes Thrall Band when Andy Johns was producing.
And now Ed Cherney, who is Rose's husband, who is an early guest on the show, gave us some credibility.
One of our clear
One of our
favorites.
all-time favorite, one of the industry's favorites.
Yeah.
And Eddie makes sure he's out of the house when I come in. Sometimes I'm like,
He's Lair.
and luckily I have that friend.
Rose. You know you treat Ed like an assistant or a runner or
Oh my
anything.
God,
That's king. He's a king.
I don't know.
I see
And he would
her.
say, I'm not one of your runners.
I can hear him saying that.
Or you can't book me like a studio. I need some time.
It's hard because when we see people standing around, we want them to do something.
Right.
And then when you're like, what are you doing?
You're like, oh, I'm at home. I'm not at work. Exactly. Oh, sorry. So, guys, why don't we tease up Batter's Box? Chong Gorgans, to let you know, who was a guest coordinator, hopefully took care of you and all that kind of stuff.
Wonderful,
He's very official. He's a senior at school, in an audio school. He's in a position where when he comes out, other than working for us, that he'll probably be looking for a job. He mixes and does stuff on his own now, at home on his rig.
He's going to be interviewing real soon.
And he's going to be interviewing real soon. So if he were sitting with you guys, each of you guys ask him a couple of questions you'd ask an intern.
Let's do this. Let's go in order. You ask a question, then you, then you, then you, then you, then you. Let's do that, Paula. Start
Do
with
all
that.
the questions at once?
No, just
Yeah.
one. Paula
We'll
first.
let him in.
Yeah. Where'd you grow up?
I'm born and raised in Los Angeles. I'm in Woodland Hills,
Cali
and
boy.
I've been there my whole life.
Make him cry, Rose.
Hit him, Rose.
No, why do you want to be in the business?
I love making music. If I'm not making music or engineering, I kind of get withdrawal. So just being around music is what I want to do most, and
Good answer, Chong.
my passion.
Who are some of the producers and engineers that are working today that you admire and look up to?
Probably the ones I look up to the most have been probably my mentors. The first being Matt Wallace, and then Dave Pensado. And I wouldn't be anywhere if it wasn't for them.
They're
You
good
soon
ones.
saved it.
I recommend hire this man.
Well, not yet. We're not done yet. 3 more questions. Give him another one.
What would you say is your weakest trait?
I react fast, so sometimes I need to think things through a little more, and that's probably also coming from Black Dad himself.
Good answer. It's honest. Absolutely.
good, though.
All right, last one, Zoe.
What do you want to gain out of the experience at the studio if you're hired?
Just experience and working around like-minded individuals who enjoy audio as much as I do. At the end of the day, just to learn and just be part of the craft.
All right, so here's what we're going to do.
Hold
We're
on.
not.
Let's rate him. Let's see what.
You want to do that
yeah.
on air?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Paula, would
That's
you
a tough
hire
one.
him?
Yeah, I'd give him a chance.
Rose?
Yeah, I would hire him.
Cool.
Chong
Rose,
Gore.
I
Rose,
would
what do
have
you?
trouble with his name, though.
Yeah, I did
Rose,
too. I
I'm
called
saying,
him Chang.
What
I
kind
don't
of
know.
grade would you give him for personal appearance?
Well, 10.
Yeah, he
Well,
get a 10.
A.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
looks good.
And what kind of weight did throwing Dave Pensado's name around have?
That has a lot.
A lot.
It does.
You know me,
Yes.
Rose. You know that doesn't have a
You
lot.
sent me, I can't remember who he is, he's not with me anymore, but you sent me a real good one.
Oh, thank you.
So Chongor, you now can breathe. Good job.
I
You
needed,
over
job,
there?
Chong. You got a
Wipe the
job.
tears from your eyes.
I need a defibrillator.
So guys, let's go to corner office. This is where some questions from our interactive audience are there for you. We'll ask 2 or 3 of those. Chongor, you did good. You're hired.
Great, Chongor.
And,
Fire
I'm,
away,
and
sir.
I'm breathing now, so I'm
Yeah,
calm.
so you actually look happier now.
look
So,
Yeah,
so
I'm not as
fire away.
nerve-wracked anymore.
Fire away, Chongor. You got some questions?
Yep. What are some managerial habits that small studio owners can adopt to help run their studios better?
That's a good question.
You got that one, Paula.
Just, keep track of any calls that come in, try to get their names, emails, and return their calls promptly as possible.
Got to return those calls.
Good customer
right away.
service.
Good customer service. Follow up. Follow up is really important. If
Yeah.
you've got 1 studio or 5, follow up and paying attention to detail.
Can I interject something?
And be careful what you buy.
The thing that having sat here and talked to you guys for this however many hours we've been here, is that this is a real business to you guys, and some of the smaller studios don't treat it like a real business. It's a service industry. It's a real business. You've got to know that if you make a purchase, you're going to earn your money back on that purchase. You can't just go buy a bunch of gear and hope you pay for it. It's a business.
Yeah.
And that's what you guys are good at doing.
Chongor, give us another one.
From Joe Slayers, what are some key traits of a person's personality that you look for in an assistant engineer or any person you hire?
Passion,
Yep, we always go
Hunger.
back to that, yeah.
brains help,
Adaptability, yeah.
Yeah.
problem solver.
And one negative trait would be don't come off like a know-it-all because you're
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
starting out. You may have gone through school and maybe have some life experience, but you are starting from scratch when you walk in the door.
Yeah,
I've seen
don't get
people-
overly friendly.
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
people lose positions because they were
Yeah.
just almost too smart and they just wanted to prove it to everybody. It's like,
Those are
There's
the
a
ones that
balance.
fall the hardest.
Last one, Chongor.
From MT Champion, how do you deal with demanding clients that can have unrealistic goals? Does it all come down to compromise?
I give them what they want.
There you go.
Sometimes you can't though because
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Well,
but you know.
yeah.
if you show that you're trying and you're doing your best and you're honest, I think
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
deal
Always
with
be
them,
honest.
and just don't, pout or roll your eyes and stuff like that when you're talking to
But
them.
it's got to be a little easier now than it was 10 years ago dealing
Hell
with
no,
clients,
I
right?
don't know about that.
It's harder.
That's what I
harder now.
say.
It's
Every
harder
year
now?
I say that.
Yeah,
It's harder.
it's more. It's
more
more
coming at
demanding
you.
than the
I wasn't
70s
hard,
were.
was I?
There's more coming at you.
Yeah, I
There's
agree.
phones and emails, and everybody knows that you're getting their email and phone calls right then,
Yeah.
and who
There's
do you
no
answer
stall
first?
time anymore.
Yeah, I find that emails and technology actually make you less efficient. There's just so much reacting to them. Everybody has them, and it builds up.
We were talking about that earlier. One of the hardest things is everything's last minute now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just always.
We
you
want to
know,
come in an hour. In an hour,
Right.
Or they walk in.
or they walk in.
Here you are. Well,
I mean, that's happened to me. They just walked in and demanded
it's amazing.
to come in.
And there's a crazy turnover, like you were saying. That you have to do short sessions sometimes. You can't just book for a week.
Right.
And booking a day session, a night session.
Right.
Turnovers, It's
Yeah.
Well, here's the great news from our perspective. Our audience got a chance to meet 3 brilliant bosses. Gender isn't important. Delivery is. You guys have proved it over the years. Presided over literally some of the most seminal music in our lifetime. You are truly loved in the industry. We're in the industry. We know what your reputations are. It's a role model and an object lesson for all you guys out there to emulate, and you should really do that. BP, are you coming in here? And so a couple things. One, thank you so much for being on our pro committee for Pensado Awards.
Yeah.
That's a big
having us.
deal.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for doing the show. Come on. And from us to you guys.
Thank you so much.
We believe in customer service and high standards as well too.
Thank you.
So from Dave and I, we thank you for doing this. We are honored by your presence. And will you come back at some point in time?
I will.
Absolutely.
Was it painful, Rose?
No,
it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you have
I
fun?
think she did a great job.
I think you did a good job.
Yeah, she
we
did.
we ran a little bit long because I think we got really 2 parts here. What an incredible opportunity for us to get behind
was
the
fun.
scenes. Yeah.
was.
So we're gonna bug you. We'll have you back. We do some stuff live around the country, and if we can get you involved.
Oh gosh, what can I say? You know, I'm around some people sometimes, and I just want to go home and go to sleep. They just wear me out. And there's other times in my life I'm around some special people, and I just want to go to the studio and work and never go to sleep again. And this is one of those days. It was very inspirational for me, and I just want to go and work and work and work and work and work. And they've kept the bar high. They're going to raise it even more. And without these people, we couldn't do what we do, and they do it so well. Rose said she cares about us. She's nurturing, and they're tough.
Absolutely.
But after Rose knocks the crap out of you, she'll hand you a Band-Aid, and that's the way they all are. And it was a wonderful day for me. Thanks for sharing it with me. And
Happy birthday, Will Thompson.
No, it's Will's birthday?
Yeah.
I didn't know he had birthdays. They have birthdays in San Francisco?
He has been born.
All right, guys, we'll see you next week.